Hello everybody, Klaire Fluffle here, playing a delightful round of Kirby's Dream Course. As you can see, this is a speedrun of immense concentration and skill that requires me to be at my very best. I've got my lucky pants on, I'm extra head-pattable today, and Dream Course itself is an excellent game. Not as good as the game we talked about yesterday, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, although the speedrun is better, evidently, based on the fact that I ranked it higher. Any minute now, though, I should be ending my Dream Course run. Hope you're ready for... Hey, wait a minute. I don't have any legs to wear pants with. Alright, so I may have lied to you a bit. That wasn't Kirby's Dream Course. I do, in fact, have legs, and... well, I actually do think that I'm extra head-pattable today, but also, this is a video in a series of many where I rank every single one of the Kirby game speedruns of the any percent variety. Before we get into Dream Course though, please remember to like this video and subscribe and maybe ring the notification bell to stop the dastardly Deputy Pup and the sinister Sheriff Sheba from working together to cause me harm. Your support gives me puppy power, and I want to make sure I can continue to provide for my amazing Fluffle fans who I love and appreciate. If you want to go the extra mile in appreciating me, consider becoming a Puptrin on Patreon or a Mempup on YouTube. You do, of course, get nifty perks, including 2-day early access to every single Kirby month ranking video! Yay! Special thanks to my head-patting Fluffle fan Puptrins and Mempups, Freakish Uproar, Lydia Scribe, and Vilafar. I love you all! I never thought I'd say this sentence in my life, but Kirby's Dream Course is actually a lot like Return to Dreamland. Both are in my top 10 favorites in the series, yet despite that, they rank fairly low for the speedrun rankings. Unlike Return, which I've basically said nothing but nice things about over the years, Dream Course should be pretty apparent why it wouldn't rank so high. Obviously, it's because there's no any percent speedrun for the multiplayer. This is ridiculous. A crime against pup-manity. This is the best multiplayer mode in any game ever, and I'm not being ironic, I truly believe this. So how in the heckaroony does a speedrun for it not exist? How?
All according in the plan.
And this is why I need puppy power, folks. To get real though, Dream Course has a really fun any percent speedrun, but it can be a lot sometimes. I don't always concern myself with gunning for world record runs, always seeking that PB improvement grind first and foremost. And most of the holes in Dream Course do have easy mode strats that make them easier and longer to clear. I think this is a great balance, but unfortunately not every hole has one of these easy mode versions. Some just end up being really stressful, and they stand out because of how much fun you'll have with others, effectively having a difficulty slider in place for them. Of course, a hole being hard isn't going to kill an entire run. Given Kirby never actually runs in this game and you can still speedrun it, I'd be surprised if something that simple would be all it took. Way to play. Anyway, take the final hole of World 3 for example, hole 3-8. You can get a hole in one on this with a consistent strat that makes you feel like a big-brained... I can't really say puppy because I never actually did it. Yeah, it's one of those really hard ones, and I was only able to clear it in 3 strokes. 3! That's 2 more than 1! And that's crazy. Still, while I certainly lost a bit of time to this, it wasn't so devastating that it made my run invalid. Sure, it was inconvenient and I lost time, but terrible? Not really. That's what saves Dream Course from total devastation and makes it a run that I really like. Making mistakes is okay. This has been lovely life lessons with Puffy. But we've only talked about the literal most inconvenient of what the game offers. There are easier holes without easier strats, holes with both, all kinds of stuff. I think the game's starting out fairly simple, and climbing up in difficulty compared to which hole number you're at rather than course number helps ease frustration during the run. For example, hole 1-6 can be a little tricky with the parasol movement, but when you start 2-1, you see how easy it is right off the bat. Let's watch the epic strats for 1-6.
because it has Parasol, so of course I want to share. Right off the bat, you'll notice that not only does Parasol have a green and white pattern instead of red and white, but I don't actually get a hole-in-one here. To address one of these, if you get a hole-in-one, a really long celebratory animation plays, congratulating you on getting that hole-in-one.
The jingle it plays is nice. Fireworks go boom! Not to mention you got a 1-up at the end, but there's no benefit to getting this for a speedrun. The jingles don't save time. Fireworks scare puppies like me, which is a risk of time lost. And you only get 1 life to live, so speedrun wisely. Compare that to getting every hole done in 2 shots. For 1-6, which we just saw, it barely made a difference, given the parasol movement and all, but depending on the hole, the time gap can actually be even smaller. The funniest instance of this, for sure, is when you have a shot that can easily hole-in-one, but you don't want to go for it, because man-made structure or not, you want to save time. So what do? You go... Phew.
That's it. Then you shoot like you're gonna get a hole-in-one anyway, and don't waste time. It's funny, it's efficient. What more could you want? But, okay, we've talked about the basics. It's time to talk about the cool stuff. Copy abilities change everything about the way you play Dream Course, and, no surprise, the speedrun relies on them more than any other kind of play. What may surprise you is what the best abilities are. Sure, stuff like Wheel, Tornado, Burning, UFO, they're incredible, but equally incredible are Needle and Stone. These are abilities that do nothing but make you stop dead in your tracks. The main difference is that Needle doesn't slide down slopes, while Stone will stop all of your momentum when you use it in the air. Both of these have value, but why is stopping equally as important as these other abilities that make you move faster? Simply put, Stone and Needle are great because of their precision. You can be a Kirby's Dream Course master. So good, even the biggest Dream Course fan puppy can't resist but admire your dedication. But if you're a pixel or a frame or some other third thing off of what you're supposed to do, it can ruin, or at the very least damage, your time for any given hole. Recovery would range from tough but doable to, oh god, you're totally done, kid. Give up hope now and submit to a darkness so dark only a cute puppy VTuber can save you. Well, 2 bits of good news. 1, hi. And 2, the really bad stuff winds up being so rare that they don't affect most runs. The fact that they can, though, yeah, that's kind of a big problem. I'm making silly jokes and trying to make you laugh. Here's hoping that I'm doing a good job. But the damage that a bad hole can do to your run is a big turnoff for me. Now, maybe if this was a simpler game, I'd be singing a different song, but Dream Course is easily the tightest game in the series as far as execution goes. Now, I based a lot of my strats off of the guide on speedrun.com, which is largely based on what the world record run by Rob Dog does, but I couldn't wrap my head around some of these, even with video footage. When the guide, which is really well made, by the way, highly recommended for use when you're learning, it says that you need to base your second shot around whether or not you're touching the white on the furthest back tile or the black on the second to furthest back tile. You know there's a level of precision needed that goes way far past the border. But why stop there? Let's also make it so that if you shoot your shot at full power, you can either get full power yellow or full power pink. On the bright side, this isn't RNG, but on the dark side, why bother to light up the whole store? The timing on whether you get yellow or pink is super strict. Sometimes you can easily work with either one, but when you get a yellow when a pink is needed or something like that, it feels pretty bad. And again, it wouldn't feel so bad if the game wasn't so darn strict. I say frame perfect sometimes is an exaggeration. I can't help it, I'm just a dramatic pup. But Dream Course can literally get frame perfect if you're trying to be optimal enough. Now, I'm all for a customizable difficulty slider that isn't just easy, normal, or hard, but sometimes enough is enough, you know?
Somewhere in the middle of all of this is a mechanic where if you press the A button as you bounce, Kirby gets a huge boost of speed. Pressing this on the ground gives a smaller boost as well. Not a huge deal, but important enough of the time to at least be mentioned. Congrats, specific mechanic. You get the "You're good enough for Puppy to Love You" trophy. Anyway, the bounce version winds up being yet another really tight mechanic. Depending on when you press the button, Kirby will change how far they bounce. This winds up making a few holes really frustrating, but I won't lie, when it works in your favor, either because you managed to time it perfectly correct, or because the hole is on the less extreme end of things and, you know, you can have fun, it feels really good. Like, feels so good that it's the best mechanic in the game aside from copy abilities good. I like it a lot. Speaking of, I want to be positive again, so let's talk copy abilities!
And now it's time for Fluffle Fans. It's Klaire Fluffle's speedrunning tip of the day. Yay!
Did you know that you can keep any given copy ability longer than the game intends if you're creative enough? Take hole 7-2 for example. You get UFO here, and in future holes there are abilities everywhere. But if you're creative and get stone last in this little island of abilities, then get UFO right after, you can actually keep it until near the end of course 7, despite the easy methods implying you would lose UFO basically right away. The game allows so much creativity with strategies, which is what the magic of speedrunning, this game especially, is all about.
I know that this game doesn't rank the highest on this list, but if you can handle what is probably the most brutal speedrun in the series to get a hang of, wording is important here. I don't think it's actually the hardest once you've actually learned it, then it's a really fun time. It's amazing how much creativity and expression there is in a spin-off game based on golf, of all things. And sure, there not being enough people speedrunning the multiplayer modes drives me insane, but I know I'll always have all of you to cheer me up. Speaking of, time to get back to work on making videos for you. Yay! I've been Klaire, thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you around. Bye-bye!